I remember when your mother and your aunts were small. I remember this specifically. We were walking up Madison Avenue, and I guess Aunt Catherine was in the carriage, and I had Aunt Joanna on one side and your mom on the other, and it was late in the day, and I thought, you know, I'm going to be happy many times in my life, but I will never be happier than I am at this very moment.
I've been taking trips to Cleveland to see my grandmother ever since I can remember. Recently, I realized I've never had a serious conversation with my grandmother about her life. So I went back to Cleveland to sit down with my grandmother, Dr. Harriet Orm.
I should start by saying I've had a happy life. I'm having a happy life, many different lives in many ways. I have a very happy marriage, and I have friends who make me happy. And then, of course, the art makes me happy too. That's a passion. It's important to take risks sometimes, to think to yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Envision the worst and how you would get out of it, and then take a risk. Move to a new city, make a new friend, say yes to an opportunity that's a little bit frightening, but that you think there's some reason to think you could learn to do it and do it well. After I stopped working in New York and came back to Cleveland, someone said to me, oh, you have to go on the board of MoCA. They knew that I was interested in art. Within a month or two, I was invited onto the board, and it seemed to me like a very worthwhile endeavor. It was then a much smaller institution, so it was going through a little bit of turmoil and management change. And yet I love the mission of showing cutting-edge contemporary art in this northeastern Ohio city. And so before very long, I was asked to be head of the search committee. And I've stayed on. I believe at this point, I'm the longest serving board member. And I'm proud to say that this year MoCA is celebrating its 50th anniversary. I believe that I'm not a particularly creative person. I think that's right. I'm pragmatic and practical. And art is a way of seeing and appreciating the creativity in others. It's not the only thing I like. I like theater very much. I like dance very much. But art is something that I can have and enjoy every day of my life. One goes to theater occasionally, to the ballet occasionally. I haven't mentioned music. I have a tone-deaf ear. It's an inherited thing. None of us in my family could ever keep a tongue. But while I'll never be an artist, I do appreciate art, and I love having pieces that I adore around me, and I love seeing art. I was born in 1937. The story goes that I was born when there was a tremendous flood in Cincinnati, and so my mother had to boil all the water that I was washed in, the water that she washed other things in, and so forth. But my first memory is of a house on Burton Avenue, 974 Burton Avenue. I had a very happy childhood. In my memory, and I've told this to friends, the sun was always shining in Cincinnati. I don't ever remember, obviously if there was rain, there were storms, I don't ever remember that. I only remember that the sun shined. I had a wonderful time. I was very popular, and I absolutely didn't work. I didn't pay any attention. I wasn't studying, and by the time I got to my freshman year, I was flunking Latin and math. I really didn't know how to study, and studying wasn't so important. Being popular was a whole lot of fun. So I settled down, and my parents got me a math tutor and a Latin tutor, I guess, and I ended up passing Latin, and I got like a 99 on my math exam, which was thrilling, although the course was taught by the professor, or the teacher, not a professor, the teacher who tutored me. So thinking back on it, I think there may have been several things in play. I would like to show you the first piece of art I ever bought. And it's a Picasso print signed by Picasso. I bought it in college. One of the galleries in Boston came to Wellesley and they had a show. And I fell in love with this piece. It's a woman, and she's got her back to us, and she is drawn in a minimum of lines, but you have the sense of a very fleshy woman. I've paid $75 for it, and that was a lot for me on a college budget. But I've had it framed, and then I've had it reframed so that it was better done, and I'm still very happy with that. And I love the economy of lines. I mean, it's really, you get a sense of all of her with just a very few lines. So that was quite appealing. If I could give advice to my younger self, I think I would say something that I've said to other people also before. I would say, be kind. I think that is the most underrated quality, that it is really an important thing in today's world to be kind and not to jump to a first impression, to give others a chance to blossom and draw them out. I think no one's life turns out the way they expect. If you had told me that I would be married 3 times, one a divorce, one to a wonderful man who died, and now to my wonderful husband, I wouldn't have believed it. If you had told me that I would live in Cleveland, Ohio for the second half of my life, I wouldn't have believed that either. I grew up in Cincinnati, and I was very glad to get away from Cincinnati and see the wider world. I think I want to be remembered as someone who helped others succeed. That's very important to me, to establish some useful things in the community and in the world, and then to help others succeed at it. It's very easy to make someone fail. It's a whole lot harder to help them succeed. I think in some ways my life has turned out to be better than I could have thought. I've made wonderful friends I didn't expect to make. I have a family. I always wanted a lot of children. I do hope and expect that it will continue on for a very long time, because I'm still having fun.